Welcome parents to Book C. This is probably the most fun book of all the 6 that we do. So the first book we really work on fingers and making sure that the wrists and the hands and the fingers are shaped properly so we have nice posture at the piano. The second book, we're learning the names of the notes. If your child doesn't have a really quick grasp of the names, if it doesn't come to them very quickly, if they have to really think it all out, maybe put them back on tenuto a little bit more and have them practice. That way I don't have to do that at lessons. That kind of slows us down when we have to stop and think about what the names of the notes are. They will learn piano much, much faster if they know the names of the notes, because if they can look at that one and see, oh, D for dangling, D, where's D? They can find D very, very quickly. But if they don't know the name of that note, they're just kind of dead in the water. So please continue to make sure that they continue to have a good hold on the names of the notes. If they've got a good hold on it, then I'm going to work with them enough that they'll hold it. You don't have to continue practicing. But if you find that they struggle, or if I spend a lot of time in piano lessons doing this, then make sure they get back on tenuto. What I love about this book, Book C, is that this whole set of C books is that the kids know these songs. So if you look at the table of contents, you'll see all these songs that they know. These are the fun kid songs, and this is where piano begins to get really rewarding. Now, because these are such fun kid songs, I'm going to play the accompaniments with them. I started that a little bit in Book B, where we're playing some of the, like the Penguins on Parade, and so we did some of those together, but we're going to start playing a lot more accompaniments. The reason why is because it helps your child to raise their level to play with somebody else. They need to be able to play through distractions, and they will not be able to play with somebody else playing an accompaniment with them if they don't have a strong sense of, if they haven't had enough practice time to get a strong hold on the piece that they're learning. So it will also help to encourage them to practice a little bit longer and a little bit harder at home, because they know they're going to have to play with me, and that's really, really hard. So keep at it. Have them play things over and over and over again. Remember, the goal is not to play it right one time. The goal is to play it right many, many times, and we're becoming more perfectionists as we get into Book C. But really, this one is fun. In fact, we get to start with Brother John, which is a song that they already know. I guess they're singing this in school. So some of the concepts that we have done, your cheat sheet's at the very beginning. So if you're having a hard time, like, what is that note again? Because you're not practicing like they are. So if you're having trouble with some of that, go back to the beginning and just look it up. It just matches, because there's only one note for one key on the staff, so you can look that up. These are some of the things we've done already. We've been talking about time signature. We haven't really started key signature yet, because we've just been in C major the whole time. But we've been talking about time signature, either 4/4 or 3/4. That the top number is the only one we need to really pay attention to yet. It just means you count to 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Or if it's 3, it's 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. As we go through the measures, the bar line starts over our counting. The note values they should have a good handle on, as well as the rests. The only one that we pay too much attention to really is the quarter rest, because that's the one that's a part of the counting. The others are more I don't know, internalized. We just kind of have an automatic sense of that. We do need to pay attention to dynamics. Dynamics is loud and soft. Dynamics are what make the piano sound pretty. So use your ears to work with the dynamics. That way, because we don't want our playing to all sound flat. It just makes it, dynamics makes it beautiful. Slurs and ties, they're going to have to pay a lot more attention to these ties. A tie is the same note held together with this, what looks like a slur. You have to hold it down for the entire set of notes. So instead of hold it down for 3 and then play it again, hold it down for 3, this is 6. So you hold it down for 6 counts before you lift. So it's like it doubles it up. The reason why we do it that way is just because we've got measures, and it's just it has to do with how we print music more than anything else. And then this is not a tie, this is a slur. We learned slurs before we learned ties. It just means play legato, just blend them together. So that's really more about thinking about how it sounds and lifting the wrist at the end. Ties are more about counting. So those are some of the things that we've done. So Brother John is the first one. We're back in C position. Here's middle, here's C, not G. We're back in C position, so kids like C position the best. So we need to count to 4, count to 4. You'll notice we have slurs for legato. So that just means we have to blend the sound together, and at the end of each group of 4 notes, you need to lift so that it lets go of that last note gently and it separates from the next set of legato notes. P for piano, down here is forte. We're going to start working more on piano and forte. We're not just going to play the notes, but we're going to play them the way they're supposed to sound. Okay, so and this is also going to be played in a round. If you want to play this with your child, you start when they get to here. So they start, and then you start, and it goes to here, and then for the last 4, they play, and then you play, or vice versa if you want it to start. But they definitely need to play it 2 times or it doesn't work as well. So, okay, so it sounds like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, hold down, hold down. Lift, and then repeat. So if you'll notice this was a little bit louder. So we're still working on getting these wrists up. So at the end we need to lift. And here with this slur, have them do both hands so that they're doing that with both. Okay, so that's Brother John, and that's a pretty simple one for them to play. They'll pick up on that more quickly than the other songs. This is the technique book. This is the only other thing you need to work on for this lesson. And the technique you want to start with first at home. At lessons, I don't. I start with the lesson first, and then the technique is to kind of reinforce that. But at home, think of this as your warm-up book. Half note, half note. Kind of sounds like Brother John. There's a repeat. So you repeat the line. And then the bottom. Fingers 2, fingers 3, and then back to 1 again, and then repeat, 2, 3, and 1, and then it finishes. So the finger numbers are can help guide you through too. But that's wake up calls. So play this twice, play this twice. It says M, F first, and then P. That just means mezzo forte the first time. So the first time you play the line, play it medium loud. The second time you play, like an echo, it should be more piano, more quiet. Here we do the same thing for those. So, okay. And then there's a couple of pages out of the theory book and note speller that you'll work on at home too. And that's it for the very first lesson.